Hello and good evening. How are we? Couple minutes late. Sorry about that. On now though, and hopefully working well. All right, excellent. Chinese New Year. Now we do have a little bit of a problem tonight, and once it's up and running, I'm going to explain why. Hello Tian, how are you? Have I had a good week? I've had a pretty good week. Even though Mercury retrograde is over, well, I don't know. I know we always have the tail end of it. These last couple of days, everything very hectic. Hi Mel, how you going? Had a wonderful workshop just on Saturday with some gorgeous ladies. We had an amazing time. It was fantastic. And I'm looking at more dates as we speak about being able to bring some more workshops to you. Hey James, how you going? Yo, yo. So a couple of hiccups tonight. As per usual, my internet at home, my Wi-Fi is down and I don't have a lot of gigabytes. So I won't be able to be on as long tonight. We are going to discuss the topic. I'm going to turn a few cards. So I won't be able to do the whole hour. Otherwise, I'm going to run out of internet. But next week, absolutely, because the technician will be out tomorrow. So it's been a little bit hectic, as you can imagine, having no... Hello, Belinda. So tonight we're going to discuss the topic and then I'm going to turn some cards, but I'll probably only be able to stay on for about half an hour or so, just because, like I said, using my phone for internet. But hasn't everything been a little bit hectic? Definitely felt that Mercury retrograde, even though like a lot of my clients having to reschedule, move things around. So still be patient with that. We've got a lot of other planetary activity going on. So I'm sure you're all feeling it. Hello, Katie. How are you? I was thinking about you today, actually. I was out Sandgate Way. All right. I can see you all getting on board. We've got some from YouTube here as well, which is amazing. I will let you know that it's going to be much easier and we're going to get a much better stream if we just run through one channel, and that's going to be my channel of choice. All right, grounding and protection. I thought with all going, not wrong, that's not the word that I want to use, just different or interesting. Please let me know. Oh, you have a bug, Katie. Sending you loads of healing and love and just good vibes. There's nothing worse. Well, of course, I guess there maybe is worse things than being sick. But it's terrible when you're unwell and under the weather. So lots of dinner time, some good movies. Actually, a couple of weeks ago, I ended up watching Ben-Hur. So you've got about 4 hours. All right, so today's topic, one we've covered before, but I figured with the energies feeling how they are at the moment, we would cover it again, because it is one of those things that I find sometimes, you know, we forget about and we wonder why we're feeling the way that we do. And sometimes you got to go back to those just really simple things, those really simple exercises. Working those, you know, intuitive muscles is important, but also resting them as well. Hello, Sharon, how are you going? So why do we ground and why do we protect our energies? When we're feeling, as you know, literally grounding, putting your feet on the floor. So when you're feeling a little bit foggy or, you know, disconnected and you can't focus and, you know, you can't concentrate, you could be getting lightheadedness, you could be getting headaches, you have all of those things going on. That's when we need to look at grounding. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks here for that. I think it's very variable on how you find your grounding as well. So even though these are just some suggestions, gosh, my words, where are they? Good suggestions and things that maybe you could try following. And I am going to also talk about a routine. I think if you can get yourself a routine with break when you're at work, or even in the evenings, sometimes if we can get that routine happening, we can get that pattern. We're going to be doing it more frequently and we're going to feel better for it. And if you do have suggestions on ways that maybe you find your grounding, please let me know in the comments, because this is all about sharing and everything. You know, he gets Richie Gere to take his shoes off, because, you know, he's all like corporate and stuff and in buildings and all up in the air doing shit. So she gets him to take his shoes off and walk on the grass and have that grounding. I know for myself, if I've got shoes on, not really focused. I'm not really concentrating. I actually did that at the weekend at the workshop. Knew that I wasn't very grounded at that moment, took the shoes off and just planted them, even though I wasn't on the grass, just on the ground, just feeling that connection. So meditation, obviously a really good way to be looking for some grounding. There are heaps and heaps on the internet that you can have a look at on YouTube. And of course they're free, which is fabulous, and you can do grounding with that. But meditation again is something that I think is quite interesting, because I struggle to do meditation most of the time. I love teaching it, and I love running people through meditations, but I do find it difficult. I have that brain that wants to constantly be thinking. You know, you're going into that meditation and you're like, oh my God, that's right, we need toothpaste, or did I just hear that door close, or what's going on in the background? But sometimes meditation and grounding can be finding something that you can do. Then for the conscious mind, let's keep that busy so the subconscious mind can clear itself. This will sound odd, but driving is one for me. You know, I love going for a long drive, putting just the music on and just being in the moment. That's really important as well. Maybe it's gardening for you. Maybe you love doing gardening, and being out in the garden is going to do that same thing while you're gardening. You know, the mind's occupied in what you're doing, and it's free to just wander, because we want to get out of the analytical mind. That's the thing that we want to do the most when we're looking at meditation for grounding. So I've got plenty of notes here that I wrote down earlier, because I do want to try and fit in as much as I can tonight. For those of you that have just come on board, hello Charlotte, how are you? My Wi-Fi, of course, is out at the moment, so I have had to wait for a new modem, and now the technician has to come out, and that's not going to be fixed until tomorrow. So I am running this through my phone, so the internet connection isn't great, and unfortunately I don't have a lot of gigabytes for internet, so I'm gonna have to kind of keep it down to sort of that half an hour tonight. So I want to get through these, so I do have some time to turn cards. So go somewhere where you can feel the earth, like Belinda just said there. Take your shoes off. Yes, yep, in the garden. Hi Susan, how are you? That's a great way of doing it. So that balance between earth and sky as well. If you can get down to any sort of water, if you can get to the ocean, even fresh water, even a lagoon, anything like that, that's going to be fantastic for you, because of course water and emotion go very, very well together. And when we're at the beach or we're down the waterfront, we get all of the elements there as well. You know, we've got the sun, we've got the fire there, we've got obviously the ocean, or if it's a lake or a lagoon, you've got the water, you've got the sand, you've got the earth, you've got the breeze, you've got the air. So you're covering all of the elements at the same time, and that's why most of the time you're feeling much more relaxed when you're there. And I think the water helps take things away. Like I said before about the analytical mind, try and be the observer instead. We're often trying to fix our problems, worried about our stresses, worried about what's going on with work, with family, with home, you know, relationships, all that stuff's going on. Sometimes trying to sit back and be the observer in that instead of trying to fix it. If you need to just stare at a wall and that helps you feel better, and some days that's all we can do is we just want to stop and stare at the wall, then do it. Forgive yourself. Everybody needs a break. Everybody needs 5 minutes. So move your energy as well. That's a really good way of grounding your energy. Go for a walk, do some exercise. I only move if I have to, so I'm not going to be going to the gym anytime soon. But when you think about energy and we think about grounding, I want you to think about it like water, okay? So if we have a bucket of water and we sit it in the backyard for 10 days and it sits still and stagnant, it's going to go feral and you can't drink it, right? It's going to be really gross. But if you go to fresh water where it's constantly moving, then you've got a better chance of that water being clear, that you can drink it. And so think of your energies that same way. When it's being too stagnant, it's going to fester. So we want to keep moving and moving through things. What else have I written down here that I wanted to remember? Oh, grounding food as well. We discussed this at the workshop on the weekend, even looking at chakras, and we were talking about grounding. We're talking very much about the base chakra. So that's obviously one chakra that out of the 7 majors that does point to the ground. Foods for this. Food for any of the chakras really, but this one in particular being grounding. Think about anything that grows in the ground. Potatoes, carrots, parsnips, peanuts, anything like that. Literally, it's growing in the earth. So eating it can be very grounding. That's usually why you'll find, you come home and you eat a really big meal. We do this a lot at Christmas time and in celebrations, and there's lots of carbs and lots of potato and all of that. And then you get that like food coma, and you're really struggling to sort of get moving, and the brain fog kicks in. The body's really having to work hard to digest. We can be a little too grounded. But food, a really good way to ground as well. Crystals, if you have some crystals at home, hematite, because again, we're thinking about the base chakra, we're thinking about that grounding. We want to get focused. We want to stop being so scattered. It's almost like putting your earth in an energetic level back on the ground. So when we look at crystals, we're going to be looking at hematite, base chakra. When we're looking at grounding and the base chakra color being red and the affirmation being I am, so go for red crystals. All right, so your garnet, hematite. Now, yes, I know you're going to tell me when you look at hematite, it looks like metal, it looks like silver. If you crack that open, that's going to be red on the inside because it's iron ore that's been heat treated with the hematite. Also, red jasper is fantastic for grounding and also recognizing your strengths. So if you're having trouble, if you're giving yourself a bit of a hard time right now, maybe the confidence is lacking a little bit, red jasper is fantastic for that. And of course, black obsidian. So all these things really good for grounding, especially when you're a spiritual person, especially when you're the empath, if you're a healer, if you're a reader, if you're just a human being, which we all are, just getting out on this planet right now, and you're feeling like especially if you go to shopping centers and things like that, and there's lots of energy and lots of people, and you walk out just in that bit of a daze, this is when groundings and, you take a break to go to the bathroom, right? Well, whilst you're in there, just take 5 minutes to ground. So we know that activity that we used to do a lot in the meditations at Threefold, and it's very, very common. Just visualize you're the tree, okay, and your legs and your body are the tree trunk, and your roots are spreading out over the ground and then down into it, and you want to dig those roots down deep into the ground as far as you can, having that connection with the earth. Then you can always envision that beautiful white light in the center, and just allow your roots to grow around it. Bring that white light back up through those tree roots, following back up through the trunk of your tree, up through your body and your chakras, up out the top of your head, and then raining down on you. And while that white light or that energy is raining down on you, you can create a bubble. Just visualize that bubble that goes from below your feet up over your head and reconnects, and allow it to fill with that brilliant, bright white light. And that's going to be helping with your protection as well. The more you do it, the quicker you'll be going to be able to find you can ground yourself. Maybe there's different things you'd like to do with that as well. Like I said, this is about visualization. It's about what makes you feel grounded. Maybe there's something that's unique to you. Yes. Oh, you're in the garden. And yes, we've had some rain here at the moment. Susan, I just saw your comment there. In the garden, standing in lovely, damp, wet grass. Look at all those gorgeous elements. You've got the water from the wonderful rain. You've got the grass. You've got the air, breathing in that wonderful smell after rain as well. And the moon, which of course we can look at just like we do the sun. Those moonbeams, terribly important. I absolutely love them. That salt air, the smell of the ocean, of the seaside. Of course, we use salt for cleansing. We use it for spiritually cleansing, in our doorways and in ritual. But salt water, how often has somebody had tonsillitis or a sore throat, and the recommendation is to gargle salt water? It is a cleanser, and it is an energy cleanser as well. Hello, Monica. How are you? Always great to see your name pop up. I do hope you're well. Oh, Katie, I'm glad you remember it. Look, the beginning of all of my meditations, the first thing I do is get everyone to ground and protect, because we're opening ourselves spiritually. And that's when we're connecting with people. We've all heard of psychic vampires, those people in our lives or in our work environments, usually in our family as well, that can suck all that energy from you. You're going in to have coffee with someone or a meeting, going in there feeling really, really good, and within sort of 10 minutes you're walking out going, oh, my energy levels have dropped. I'm feeling exhausted. But the other person walking out feeling amazing because they've kind of stole your energy there a little bit. Breathing. Not that I'm doing it very well tonight, but that's very important for grounding. Stop, if nothing else, just stop and breathe. Just focus on your breath. And there's lots of different breathing exercises that you can do, and there's fire breathing exercises and all of those wonderful techniques. But sometimes you're just exhausted. it's exhausting being exhausted sometimes, you know. So just maybe stopping and just taking a moment to just breathe. And they don't have to be counted breaths, and we don't have to pause in between. Sometimes that's the best you can do, is just take a moment and try and be in that moment. Even just listening to the things around you, stop and look up at the sky. What's the weather like? You know, look around you. Can you hear nature? Can you see things? If you're in a high-rise building and all you've got is windows and you're, you know, 100 feet from the ground or a couple of 100 meters up in the air, you know, we can still do those visualizations. We can still connect with nature. Just have a look out the window and breathe. So super important that we get back to grounding. Just imagine it a bit like defragging, like we defrag our computers. A very similar thing there. Now, protection. Something that I'm big on, because I think we need to protect our energies. They're very, very important. White lighting, which you would have all probably heard of before. So that's just visualizing yourself surrounded in that white light. I like to create a bubble. Some people may like to visualize, like if you ever watched Get Smart, you know, the cone of silence coming down. I once had someone, I've mentioned this before because I thought it was a wonderful idea. He loved fire, so he would often just pretend like he touched his watch and he would visualize that he would be covered in fire, not in a I'm burning terribly kind of feel, but more in a it's sending everything away, because it's about sometimes what energy makes you feel protected. It could be gold light, it could be white light, it could be pink light, it could be green light, it could be purple light. It's up to you what you want to use with that, especially if you're wanting to give yourself that self-love. So pink light is amazing for protection, but also for self-love, or also sending it out to other people. Tonight we could all be sending lovely green energy to Katie as she's unwell, and sending her those wonderful vibrations. But again, if white light's not comfortable for you, maybe you're more comfortable with gold light, you can do that. A protection cloak. I love it. And again, that's that visualization. You know, I like to use an invisibility cloak when I'm out at the shops, or if I'm going somewhere I don't want to be seen. I'm like, nobody can see me today. I'm invisible. And quite often I can pretty much get through my day without being interrupted. Take your power back when it comes to protection. You have free will. Don't let them take it. They can't have it. And be careful when you're sitting down with people, you're often connecting solar plexus to solar plexus. We're creating that cord, and you can almost, you know, feel the energy going between the two of you. And that's where sometimes, unfortunately, we can lose energy. Call on your angels maybe for the protection. Now, angels are fantastic, and working with angels, but remembering they need your permission. So you do have to ask them to come and work with you. You know, my favorite is Archangel Michael. I always call him Mickey. It's just been my thing with him. But remembering he has the sword and the shield. So the shield to protect you, and the sword also to help cut cords. You can also use him for addictions and things like that as well. But like we said, to keep us safe, you know, he fought the devil and won. So remember that he can help us quite often fight our own demons. So working with angels, another great way to help keep yourself protected. Again, if you can get these things into a routine, if you can start bringing them into your daily life, it will help tremendously. And just because I know better doesn't mean I do better. Okay, I'm not saying that I get it right every single day. I certainly don't. And usually it's not until I'm absolutely hectic and I cannot think straight and I'm getting headaches and I've got stuff going on that I go, stop, hang on a minute. Should probably practice what I preach. So it's not about getting it perfect every single day. It's just about doing the best you can when you can. So crystals for your protection. Clear quartz. We love clear quartz. If you can only have one crystal in your collection or one crystal in your pocket, go with clear quartz. It is a master crystal. You can use it for anything, but particularly good for protection. Again, let it know what you want it to do. And also, not only does it shield you from negativity and negative energy, but also attracts positivity, because we want to do that, right? You can never have too much positive energy. Black obsidian, again, we can use that for grounding and protection. So if you do have one, then use it for both. And it's also good for emotional situations or emotional aid, so a bit like an emotional band-aid. It's good for, or an ointment, helping us emotionally. It's calming and also brings in that positive energy. Rose quartz are actually great for protection, but also great for self-love. Yes, Belinda, tourmaline and black obsidian, fabulous. Actually, some crystals you might find a little bit strong. Other people can work with them really, really well. Some people, struggle with different ones, but tourmaline for me is a crystal I find incredibly strong for myself, but again, a fantastic crystal. Hey Lana. And also malachite I find can be quite strong, and moldavite. Okay, only for the brave. It's a very, very strong crystal, so do be careful there. Fluorite. Now, we love that. Do I have a piece here tonight? I do. Of course I do, up here. This one here, some fluorite, so it's going to have that beautiful purple. You can get just purple or just green, but normally you'll see both colors are coming through. Now, not only is it fantastic for protection, but it is also fantastic for your psychic senses and your intuition. With the two coming together, I don't really have a light to shine through it, but amazing. So give that a crack. Amethyst. Yes, we can use it for healing, for calming, for opening our psychic senses, for our third eye, for clarity, and of course, protection. Although it's not mentioned as a master crystal, I really think it's a great all-rounder. I've got this beautiful big piece here behind me and a couple of other pieces here. Here's a little amethyst point. Now, it's not about, well, okay, I'm a bit addicted to crystals because I think they're really pretty and I really like looking at them. But it doesn't matter how big the crystal is or what grade it is. So if you do go into a shop and they might say, oh, this is a grade A crystal amethyst, or this is a grade C amethyst, the vibration doesn't change. They're only talking about the color and the intensity, and how pretty I guess it is, but that's in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? So when we're looking at crystals, if your crystals have become a little bit faded, which can happen, especially with your quartzes, with your amethyst and your fluorite, if you leave these guys in sunlight or on a windowsill, they will fade. They will lose their color, but they certainly don't lose their vibration. So whether you have a crystal amethyst the size of your house, or you have one the size of a 20-cent piece, it is still going to do exactly the same job, and that's what's beautiful about it. Hey, James. Of course I can, James. No worries at all. Actually, because we are clicking close to 8 o'clock now, gee, time does fly when you're having fun. I hope some of these tips tonight have helped you out when it comes to grounding and protection, or even just a reminder of how important it is. And sometimes getting back to basics is the best thing you can do. Of course, there are essential oils that you can use for this as well. We might look at a couple of those in a couple of weeks' time. I want to look at some card spreads one week as well. I would love to do a night based on working with crystals and crystal grids. And like I said, my email, askravencooper@gmail.com. You can send me through any of the questions that you have about these things, or a topic that you would like to cover. Please let me know. So because unfortunately I don't have a lot of time tonight, because I don't have a lot of internet until my Wi-Fi is fixed tomorrow, I don't have many gigs on my phone, I am going to now start taking some names for people that would like to have a card turned. So James, yep, first up I will be turning a card for Nicole. Hey Nicole, how you doing? And Susan, I must say, Susan Jane, I did see a photo on Facebook of you looking stunning, gorgeous, beautiful energy. Oh, yep, here we go. So we've got James, we've got Mel, we've got Belinda, we've got Tamika, we have Ellie here, and Ellie is for Avalon. Fiona, you certainly can, and Katie. All right, I'm going to start running with these here because, like I said, I do have to be careful with time because of my internet issues, but we're going to give it a crack. A few more names come up. All right, got my cards. Lost another corner on a card this week. Oh, I can't give these guys up, but I just absolutely love them. Like I said, I'm going to try and cover as many as I can. We're going to run with maybe the first 5 or 6 names that we have down here. If I do miss you tonight, I am incredibly... Oh, love begins. What a nice card to jump out. I am incredibly sorry. I can't do the full hour tonight. Otherwise, I will have no internet left for my clients tomorrow morning. And I have some very important people. All of my clients are very, very important that are getting some online readings, which if you didn't know, I'm absolutely available for. One of the questions I often get asked, is it any different for me whether I do it online or in person? Absolutely not. It is exactly the same for me. I still see things exactly the same. We still are able to turn the cards. Sometimes you get to choose the cards, or people do get me to choose them for you. But if you do not, live nearby, or it's more convenient for you, I absolutely have online readings. All right, let's have a look. I'm going to start taking some names for a while. We're just going to start off with these first few. So first of all, James, we are going to do one for Nicole. All right, let's spread these out. Whoop. Let's have a look. Okay. All right, Nicole, this one is for you. Let's see what we're drawn to. Oh, no, I'm going to go down here. I don't want to go up there. All right, some big decisions going on at the moment, Nicole. So financial and material changes. Okay, so right now, just getting back on track. We may have been going on a new track here and getting things sorted out, getting organized. Maybe it's a really good time to do that going into 2023, or maybe you're looking at maybe changing your work or doing some study, maybe focusing on your health, maybe focusing on your home. But it's about here, everything's starting to find its order. That's why we have here financial and material changes, or around work, home, dreams, even relationships here, things starting to sort themselves out. So you're going to get back on track, and you're going to be able to see with more clarity where you're going. It's also a red card, just like tonight we were talking about grounding and the base chakra. This is associated with the base chakra here, so their right path and all get sorted out. So a good card, some good changes coming in, and something to look forward to. Just going to move my notebook here. How many people have been doing their grounding and protection? I'm just curious. Oh, my cards are separating up, Belinda. I don't know what's doing there. Oh, we're going to go up here. Oh, I'm going to dig through. Are you kidding me? What were the odds? Gee, here we are tonight talking about grounding protection and the base chakra, and here I am turning to exactly the same card twice and another red card. So this one here, Belinda, right now, financial and material changes going on around you. You are on the right path. It's about getting everything sorted out, home, relationships, and things getting sorted out. So things have been a little bit hectic. You're going to be able to see more clearly now the direction in which you're going. Hi, Kelly. How are you? Those things. We're all so busy and we're all so tired and exhausted. And that's what I mean about if we don't get to it, it's okay. Like we said, out of that analytical mind, and just being able to breathe and just relax. Sometimes that's just all we can do and all we need. Mel, it's your turn. Cards out. Oh, look. I think maybe it's because it's raining and there's a bit of humidity in the air. My cards don't like that. Neither do I. All right, let's have a look, Mel. Here is a card for you. Nelsa, is that how I could say it too? Let's have, oh, no. No. Oh, I can't decide. I'm going to go this one. Obstacles on the bad side. However, there's good news with that. This is actually my least bad card. This is like someone saying to you, I'm going to come up and I'm going to punch you in the arm. And then they walk up and they go tap and you're like, is that all it was? That's this card. It says here you're on the right track. You're going in the right direction, but there's a bit of an obstacle and a bit of a challenge coming up here. And what happens is this person looks down and they look at the big picture and they get overwhelmed. And you're like, I can't get over this. How do I get over this? Well, all he has to do is step over it and keep going. So try really hard right now. Easy for me to say, hard to do, to not get over them to be. You've got lots of support here. There is this purple here as well. So we could be looking at the third eye. You may have seen this challenge coming. So don't let this problem sort of out. Don't be overwhelmed by the obstacle. Let's have a look. Away here, and I do need to leave enough for tomorrow so I am going to only be able to do the next 4, I think, before I do have to wrap it up. So Tamika, you're next. Then we have Ellie, Fiona and Katie. I do apologize to Alana and Emily and Sarah. Nothing unusual there. All right, let's have a look. Okay, Tamika. Oh, you're gonna take me right up here, Tamika. Let's go with this one. These red, we've got movement, choices, and decisions going on. Step back from it. Step back from it, and it's almost the opposite of the last card I just wrote. It's like, look at the big picture. What have we got sorted out? It's a bit like, oh, you might be too young for this, but remember play school, and it was like, which window are we looking through today? It's almost like that. It's like, let's keep everything quite separate and just look at one thing at a time, because you've got a lot of movement going on, a lot of decisions to be made, a lot of choices. So instead of looking at it all, let's divide it up and go, right, what do we want from money? What do we want from relationships, home, dreams, homework, money, security, that red card, and have things sorted, but really try and just look at one thing at a time rather than looking at that great big picture. Good card though. You can't have movement, choices, and decisions if you don't have options. All right, Ellie, let's have a look. Crystals and what we can do with them, especially some common crystals that you've probably got around the house. I know mine sometimes end up getting put on a shelf or in a drawer and I forget they're there, and and then I find them again and go, oh my God, I love working. Aww, they're not doing too good. What did we used to put on cards to help? Who knows? All right, let's have a look, Ellie. Are you kidding me? It's on. Financial and material changes. This is the 3rd time we've had this card tonight, and we've only turned, 5, 6 cards. Quite sorted, quite similar to the last card we had, but more about getting back on just sorting out home, relationships, dreams, but it's all on track. Everything's going to be okay. Good card. Quite like that. We've got a lot of these red cards coming in. So we've got Fiona now. It is a great card, Tamika. Choice is a good thing. And I guess we always have choice, not sometimes between 2 good things, but in the end, you always have a choice, right? Group card for everybody. Like I said, I do have to be careful tonight because I don't have my Wi-Fi. I'm just working through my phone, and I don't have a plan with a lot of... Oh, Fiona. This is also, I'm not bringing you any new bad news. What this card is actually saying is temptation. It is the temptation to give in to old ways, to maybe go back to an old lover. Anxiety. Maybe that's something where you're like, maybe there's something that you're trying to quit right now. Maybe there's something new that you're trying, and it's maybe it's a diet, maybe it could be lots of different things that you're looking at, but right now kind of fighting your playing with your devils there, so maybe even fighting a little bit of your demons at the moment. But again, remembering this isn't bringing the devil in. Okay, this isn't something terrible that's on its way. It's about dealing with right now and the temptation to maybe give up, give in, or go back to, especially after that Mercury retrograde. We quite often hear from people from the past, and we're like, oh, did they come back because I meant to be with them, or did it come back because I was meant to go there again? No, maybe it's asking, have you learnt your lesson? But right now, try and stay strong and don't give in to temptation. Devil, it's imagine just having, a devil and an angel on your shoulder. Which one you're going to listen to at the moment? It's a good card though, because you do have that choice there. All right, Katie, I'm going to do your reading now, and then I'm just going to turn a card for the group. And next week we'll be able to do the full hour in it. Okay, Katie, let's have a look. And of course, Katie, you being unwell at the moment, maybe this will help make you feel a little better. Oh, an interesting card. We hit a blue card with this one, suffering in silence. Now, suffering is a pretty harsh word. Not necessarily does it have to be that bad. But what's happening here is she's got to the top of her mountain, and she's been sitting on her mountain here for a little while, and she's looking out at her view, and she really needs to make some decisions. She's decide where she's going next or what she's doing next. It's 9 too, so we could be wrapping something up here and then moving forward. But unfortunately, just like this human here on this mountain, they're all by themselves, and that's suffering in silence. And we've got to make the decision on where we go next. It can be a quite big decision as well, because we are looking at mountains, not molehills. So here at the moment, you might find, especially when we're unwell too, suffering in silence. Maybe it's time to reach out to Katie people and get some help. Let people help you. You've got to make this decision on your own, but it will be the completion of something as well. I do hope that you are feeling soon. Let's try that again. I do hope you are feeling better very, very soon, and sending you loads of healing vibes and lots of love, Katie. All right, let's have a look for a group reading for everyone. Don't forget, you can send me topic suggestions through askravencooper@gmail.com. I will be having some new dates coming up for the chakra workshop. I will be running the introduction to chakra workshop again, and then I am going to be running a more advanced workshop. So once you've done the first one, a lot of the ladies did on the weekend, they loved it, and they're totally pumped to do that next one. I'm going to be releasing those dates shortly. Also do a couple of other workshops, so intuitive development, maybe some herbal, magical herbalism, maybe that would be good. You guys taking the time out to hang out with me tonight. As always, you make me feel good, and I hope this makes you feel good. If you're suffering a little bit with self-love as well at the moment, or you need that healing, or you're hurting for any reason, one of the exercises I quite like to do is when you're in bed at night or during the day, doesn't really matter when you do it, hand on heart here, and I have a hand on my solar plexus as well, and I just send in the light. Whether you want it to be gold, we focus a lot on healing others, especially if you are the natural healer and the empathing that energy in, and giving yourself, they're sticking together, trying my best. Here's to having a good week. Seems to be the color of the night, and it is my favorite color. Sometimes in this week, people would like to give you some compliments. But the problem with this, a bit of a promotion at work, there could be a bit of a pay rise, but recognition and reward here. 3, the number of creation, my favorite number. We love that, the light shining down. But see how he's got his head down here? So, and you thinking to yourself, imagine if I really applied myself. Shut up. Just take the cue, and I want you to hear it. Okay, it's important that you do that. Absorb that to accept it. So recognition this week. If you are going for a job interview, this is a really good card. If you're waiting on a result for something, this is a really good card. But recognition and reward, maybe, like I said, could be a family member that just recognizes. Or maybe even some advancement around home, work, money, and security. So I'm going to have to wrap it up now. Damn that internet. Through YouTube as well, and let me know how everything's going. Till next Tuesday, be good, be kind, be careful, look after yourself, and have a good night. Get some good sleep. See you next Tuesday. Bye.